Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to review a new foundation for you guys. It is the new Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. This has been a foundation that has been raved about online. A lot of beauty gurus seem to love this foundation because it's so full coverage and it lasts all night. So I was like, I want to try it even though I have dry skin. So the foundation retails for $40 and you get your standard 1 fluid ounce in the bottle. I believe they have about 24 shades. When I was swatching them in the store, I do work at Sephora, so when I was swatching the foundation at the store, I left the swatches on my hand throughout my shift, and I noticed that almost all the foundations, regardless of the undertone, oxidized orange. Their point system goes like this. So the 0.0s are yellow undertones, the 0.5s are pink undertones, and then the 0.75s are neutral undertones. When I swatched the 0.0s on my arm, none of them matched me enough, and I'm more of a yellow undertone. So then I opted for the 0.75, and the one that matched me the most was the color 7.75. The 8.75, when I swatched it like on the back of my hand, it matched me all right, but I felt like it was just a little too orange. So yeah, I do have dry skin, like I mentioned. I feel like a lot of people with dry skin are scared of matte foundations with good reason, but if you use the right things underneath the foundation, I feel like it can work. I'm going to do is I'm going to moisturize my face. I'm not going to use any primer because I want to see how the foundation works on its own. And surprisingly, I've met a lot of people in the past few days that don't like to use primer, so that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to start by moisturizing with my Cetaphil moisturizer. Okay, so I don't want to color correct either because like I said, I want to see how much the foundation covers on its own and if it's going to look ashy around my mouth. Okay, so right here is 7.75 and this is 8.75, and I'm just going to mix them. I am going to apply one half of my face with a beauty blender and the other half of my face with a brush. I do have acne scars still, as you can see. So let's see how this covers. So first I'm going to go in with the brush. This is extremely full coverage. Like, you can't even see the marks anymore. That's crazy. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but this side looks perfect and this side does not. So let me show you, because I have the same amount of acne on both sides, like an acne scars. So this is the side with discoloration and stuff, and this is the side without it, which looks pretty darn good. I feel like it gives a really nice coverage. The finish is nice so far. I feel like it does emphasize the little, I guess you call them pores. They're just like little dots on your face. They're not pores. They're definitely not pores. But I will show you guys in a little bit. Next, I'm going to go in with the beauty blender and see how that applies. Girl, this is literally paint for your face. Look at that. Like left. Lately, when I want to cover up my acne, what I've been doing is color correcting, then going in with my Kat Von D, the concealer, the one that comes in the little tube, applying it on my scars, then going on top with foundation, which is a little too much for me. I'm not used to doing that. But it works. But this, just with one layer, covered up everything. Now I'm going to take some more foundation just to layer it on a specific area of my face. And blend it up. And it seems to be layering pretty nicely. It's not breaking apart on my skin. Looks really good so far. Okay, so my first impressions are that it is extremely full coverage. You guys saw how I covered those acne marks. I'm going to bring you in closer in just a little bit. But when you use a brush, you get much more coverage, and the beauty blender really shears out the foundation. For a person who has acne marks, I definitely would rather use a brush because it obviously covers more. But if your face doesn't have all these scars and acne and stuff like that, I feel like you would like using it with a beauty blender. Now, for a person with dry skin like me, it's not clinging on to my dry patches as much as other matte foundations do. I do feel it kicking around my nose a little bit, and it's emphasizing the little dots around this area of my face, which I don't like. But I know I can get rid of it with the setting spray. I'm pretty sure I can. And yeah, I'm gonna bring you guys in closer now. Okay, so this is how my skin looks. This, no matter how much I cover it, this always seems to peek through. I don't know what's wrong with my skin, but that just stays there. But it covered everything. Obviously you can see my pimples poking out because it's texture, it's not a color. But for like covering the face, it covered everything. This is obviously more full coverage than this side. Even though the brush covers more, I like the finish that the Beauty Blender gives me more. If anything, I'd recommend applying the foundation with your fingers onto your face, blend it out with the brush, and then going over it with a sponge so that you can have like that flawless finish. I don't feel like I need concealer with this, but I do feel like I need to color correct around my mouth area because it's coming off a little gray, but that always happens because I have a little stash. And I have some discoloration on my chin. So for the most part, I like the foundation. It covers amazing. It looks really nice on camera. But is it my favorite? I don't know yet. This is what it looks like on both sides. I'm going to go in and apply the rest of my face because I am going to be filming more reviews later on throughout the day. So I'm just going to apply my face makeup and then I will be right back. Okay, so I applied the rest of my face on. I just applied some bronzer, some blush, and some highlight. And the makeup applies really nice on top of it. It doesn't come off patchy. I didn't even have to set my face. I did set my under eyes just because, hello, you don't want that to crease down there. But I didn't add any concealer. I feel like for a night out, I'm obviously going to add a concealer to highlight, but for, let's say, everyday wear, you don't need any concealer for this foundation. It is starting to catch up on my little dry spots from the acne. Yeah, I don't have much complaints about the foundation. The only thing I don't like is the undertones of the shade range, because the lighter foundations work perfectly fine because I did swatch them as well and I swatched them on other people and they seem to oxidize nicely. But when it comes to the darker tones, they tend to run really orange once they oxidize. Like when you first apply them, they look awesome, but like I said, tend to go orange. This color seems to look really good on me, but we'll see how it goes. I will leave an update in the description box letting you guys know how it wore on the face, if it oxidized to that orange color, because maybe it just oxidized that way because it was on the back of my hand. So I will update you guys with how it oxidized, how it wore, and if the foundation settled in nicely to my skin, because right now I just feel like it's just sitting on top of my skin and it's just accentuating some dry patches and the texture around my nose, which I really don't like. But for the most part, the coverage is good, and I feel like it makes you look flawless. So if you can find your color, I feel like this is a good foundation. Do I love this foundation? Is it my favorite foundation? No. When I initially applied it on, I already thought of a million and other foundations that I loved more, but it's a good foundation. So if you guys were thinking about getting it, I suggest you first go get a sample, get matched, or match yourself. Make sure you match from the jawline to your neck and try it out and see how you feel about it, and then think about purchasing it, because $40 is a lot of money to spend on a foundation that you don't end up loving. So do I approve? If you have oily skin, you're gonna love this. Trust me, you're gonna love it, because I've had oily skin and I know that if my skin was oily, I would have loved it. But since my skin is drier, I don't necessarily love it. Do I like it? Yes. I feel like if I were to wear one of my good moisturizers and a very good hydrating primer like the Hangover RX one, this foundation would be A1. But for $40, I don't know if I feel like mixing and matching, which I usually don't mind. But all the issues that I'm having with it, like the texture and the shade range, I don't know. I'll update you guys in the description box down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys want me to review anything else, please leave it down below and I'll make sure to get my hands on it and review it for you guys.